Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, so you can hear me, right? Oh, okay. Okay, so you can hear me, right? Woohoo! Okay, so I'm using two different computers, had to totally use a different browser. So if I'm looking at the wrong computer, please just type a little note there, okay? And I'm gonna have to mute this one so that I'm not hearing myself double talk. Okay. All right, so everybody can hear me, right? Okay. So what I wanted to talk to you all tonight about was telling your story and the importance of that. So when you're starting real estate, it's very hard. You're very fearful. I was very fearful. And like most of us, fear is probably our number one obstacle because you're outside of your comfort zone. And so you have to take risks. Risks are very hard. And if you're kind of a shy person, then it's going to be even harder for you. So like most of us, fear is that biggest obstacle. And in the beginning, that's the biggest problem. So are you there? Have you been there? Are you starting to overcome that? Fear is, there's fear of not knowing what you're doing. There's fear of others thinking you're silly. There's fear of the unknown. Do I really know what I'm talking about type of thing? And then maybe you've heard these sayings of people telling you that you're wasting your time. You can't make any money in real estate, and that what's wrong with you? And my very favorite is, you're just going to lose everything you have. So all those naysayers in the beginning are very, very detrimental to you if you listen to them. You got to be around like-minded people and people that will encourage you to keep going with what you're doing. And fortunate for me, my husband has been a very supportive of me in everything I do. So that's always nice to know that he's given me pointers and he's right behind me, even though everybody else thought I was crazy, right? I had a good job. I was working at the hospital, a nurse, making good money, but that wasn't it for me. I needed to do something else, and real estate's what I want to do. So even at working at the hospital, you have to tell your story, no matter where you're at. If you need to tell your friends, family, neighbors, the people at the bank, the people at the grocery store, the gas station, anywhere you go, you need to tell your story to those people. And the more you do it, the better you're going to be at it. The more experience you have, the more confident you're going to be. And this business takes confidence. When you're telling your story, those people have to know that you know, or you have to send that message across to them that you know what you're doing. You are confident in what you're saying, and you're not trying to buffalo anybody. You've done this before, and you have all the confidence you need. And that confidence is the winner, because that will sell the deal right there, even if the numbers are crazy. I got to tell you that my husband, Dan, a lot of you know who he is. He is the best. He's amazing when he's negotiating a deal. It's just crazy. He instantly has rapport with people. They trust him immediately, and he can always close the deal, which is kind of crazy. But that's his knack. That's his unique ability, is negotiating those deals and getting people to say yes. He's much better than me, and don't let him tell you differently. So not knowing what you're going to be doing, or am I really going to even do this right? Well, I'm here to tell you tonight that you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Any of us, if we change our mindset and tell ourselves that, yes, we can take this on, and we can tell our story, and we can make real estate deals happen. That's what you have to have. You cannot be shy. You cannot say, oh my gosh, I can't do that. I can tell you, when I started, making a cold call was absolutely terrifying to me. My heart would start racing, my hands were shaking, my mouth was dry, and I was just so nervous I'd just be trembling. And it was crazy. And of course, I didn't want to do it at all. I still don't like to do cold calls, but I'm way beyond that now, and I can make those cold calls. But you have to. If you want your business to grow, that's part of your business. Negotiating and networking, that is one of the most important tools in your toolbox, and you have to have it, and you have to be good at it. You have to push yourself beyond that so that you develop the confidence so you're not afraid, because fear will get you. Fear ran me for 6 years. We would probably be totally in a different position today if I wouldn't have let fear run me for so long. And it had took a lot of time and a lot of encouragement from a lot of IE people and our mutual friends here that have encouraged me. And Andrea has been a really big inspiration for me, as well as Gina and quite a number of others. But you have to push yourself. And if you can't push yourself, reach out to somebody and let them encourage you. Tell them what's going on, and maybe they can give you some pointers on what you need to do to get this job done. I was afraid to speak to people. You all know I still don't like to get up on stage and speak, but I did it at the Edge this year, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. All of them were out there, were naked, so just remember that. I remember a time when we first started, and we had searched and searched and searched the papers for deals, and we were going to do these cold calls. We were looking in everywhere we could think of to find phone numbers, and I just got so nervous that I couldn't even continue, and I made Dan do it, and that wasn't fair of me, because I can't depend upon him. This is my business. This is your business. You're 100% responsible for your business, and if you don't take action to do it, then you need to change your mindset today, because it's so important for you to do that. You're not going to go anywhere if you don't. So as time went on, we got more education, more experience, and more confidence. And like I said, confidence is key here. People see it. They see it in your demeanor when you're talking to them about it. So tell everybody your story. Who's everybody? Anyone, everyone. People at the gas station, like I said, at the bank, at the grocery store, the postman, your coworkers, especially your neighbors, anybody that you're associated with at all. Use them to help you market your business. So people at the hospital, real estate groups, and that was one of the things too. If you're at a RIA group, you need to get up and talk to people. You can't just sit there and think people are going to come to you. You have to get up and you have to go shake hands, introduce yourselves, give your business cards out so people start knowing who you are. The more you tell your story and you get your name out there, the better it's going to be for you in the long run. You have got to grow that business. Just imagine that when you start, you're just a little teeny like that, little teeny business. And you have got to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow until you're so big that everybody knows who you are. And that is the true goal. I mean, everybody needs to know who you are, and so that you can get the business. Tell everybody you buy, sell, renovate, buy and hold, whatever it is that you do, you need to make sure everybody knows that. Make sure when you're talking to your coworkers and your family and anybody you're with, even church members. Speaking of church, I'll tell you a little story. My mother passed away about a year ago, and my dad felt the need to go to church because he felt closer to her. So I've been taking him to church every Sunday. And long story short, we like the church. We are now members of the church. But the pastor, we were in a casual conversation, and he said, well, I just want to let you know that I referred somebody to you because I knew that you were in real estate. I don't know if they'll call you, but I did tell them to give you get a hold of you. So just that bit of networking could have brought me a deal, and it probably will down the line after people get to know me there a little bit better. But it's just you got to tell your story. I didn't even tell him. I don't really even know how he figured out what I was doing, because it was the first time I'd ever had a conversation with him, but somebody told him. So when you're talking to your coworkers, you need to tell them what you're doing. What are you doing? Did you close a deal? Are you looking for properties? Did you have a good conversation with a realtor? What are those things you're doing? Because the more you tell people what you're doing, the more they're going to understand, the more they're going to know that you know what you're doing. So tell them everything. One of my favorite things to do was to go into work, because I work kind of a swing shift, and go into work and tell them, hey, guess what I did this morning? We closed on a house, or I found some private money, or I negotiated a deal and it's pending, it's under contract. Anything to let them know what you're doing and how you're doing it, and that you're not dishonest. Because if you're sharing that, they know you're not going to be somebody that's lying about it, because those people, especially work or family, they know you pretty well. So networking is key to growing your business. You need to tell everybody, like I said, what you've accomplished. Now we have, especially in the last year, we have people coming to us all the time and asking us for our ideas. They're wanting us to buy houses. They're wanting to invest with us. All different types of things that helps our business grow. I got to tell you, Dan is a friendly guy. Most people really like him because he's very friendly. But he has banked at a credit union for, oh my gosh, probably since he's been 20, so a number of years. Don't tell him I said that. Anyway, he was chit-chatting with one of the tellers there because he bought a truck, and they're filling out the loan papers, and he was telling her what he's been doing. So he told his story, and he gave her a card or two. And the next time he came into the business, which was a couple weeks later, Dan, I've got a deal for you. My friend needs some help. Could you give her a call and help her out? Because I know you can. So Dan did. He called her and negotiated a deal. We bought this house for $49,000. The appraisal came back at $99,000. It needs new carpeting. That's it. Nothing else. So it was a win-win. It was a win-win for her. It was 3 wins, actually. It was a win for her. It was a win for us. And the teller at the bank, Dan went back and gave her $200 for a referral fee. And so she's ecstatic. And now she has told him that she has another friend that needs some help. So we could have another deal there. And what was kind of coincidental that day was I was at a different bank, and one of the tellers where we do our business obviously knows what we do. She wrote an address on a business card and gave it to me and said, Donna, this is my rental. I'm trying to sell it. Please go take a look at it. Now, my deal didn't pan out, but the message is you got to tell your story and let people know what you're doing, right? Because that way the business comes to you and you're not always hunting for the business. It's coming to you. But that was a pretty good deal. We made a little profit on that. It's a good little rental. Really didn't need much. And, you know, it was about almost 50% of the value that we got it for. So another little thing that happened, and we've been investing here for a long time. We have a mutual, I'm going to call him an acquaintance that we know. He used to be an investor, but things went kind of sideways for him, and so he was been selling off his properties. We bought one. We got it under contract. Well, excuse me. We got it under contract off the MLS. He didn't trust us. He figured we were just going to tie it up and then back out of the deal. But we are buying and holding pretty much exclusively now. So we bought the house. 2 weeks later, he comes to me and say, hey, Donna, I have another house I want to sell. It's not on the MLS. Maybe we can do this without all the realtor fees. So that deal hasn't panned out because he owes too much on the house. But it's just to tell you, he got the message, and he knows now that if it's a halfway decent deal, we would consider buying that. So you just got to tell your story to everybody. And even though this is an old cliche, you got to fake it till you make it, baby. because if you don't have the confidence and you're not looking them in the eye with the details that you're talking about, they're going to wonder what's going on. And I have had that happen to me before, where I was very unsure. Why? I'm not quite sure, because we knew what we were doing, but the sellers picked up on that and backed off for a little while, and we ended up saving that deal, but it made it really uncomfortable for a little bit. So now most people in the area are aware of us, and they come to us instead of us coming to them. So you have to step outside your box, and you have to call people. You have to network. You have to change that mindset, and you're the ones that have to take action. The business doesn't grow and prosper unless you take that action. Remember, you're 100% responsible for your real estate business. So get up off the couch and take action. I know that's not, I know that sounds like it's really easy to do, and I know that you can get stuck in a place where it's very hard, and it's easier to stay home and just hide out on the couch. But if you're serious about this real estate business, you've got to get up and go and take action and motivate yourself to go to the next level. Do something, one thing every day to move your business forward. That's the only thing that got me to where I'm at, is doing that one thing every day to move my business forward. And like I said, I wasted quite a bit of time. One thing that's going to really help you with marketing yourself and telling everybody your story is building that power team. We have to have a power team to get this business really going. You need to leverage those people and help them get them to tell your story to other people to help bring your business in. So who is a power team? You guys have probably heard it, but it's a title company. It could be a banker, an attorney, contractors, painters, a real estate agent, all those kind of people. What do you need to do? Now, Joe gave some pretty good hints. If you watch on the Daily Wisdoms and go back a ways, Joe kind of spells out how you want to do this. But pretty much in a nutshell, you need to write down a list of everybody you know, your aunts, uncles, friends, family. And then you want to do your coworkers, your neighbors, all those people. Write them down. Do you have their addresses? Do you have their email? And start making contact. You have to make contact with them to get it going. And so what you want to do when you're talking to these people, you want to ask them for two more contacts that they can probably give you. Maybe it is a contractor, or is it a good realtor that they've had experience with, or is it a good title company they've had experience with. It could be anybody in that facet that equals your power team. So the more people you talk to, the more leads you're going to get on good people. Plus, it gives you an opportunity to talk about your business with that person and let them know. Another good tip that Joe gives that I really like is when you're sending out your holiday cards, Christmas cards, put a little note in there, just a little note that says what you've been doing. Now, for me this year, Dan and I are going to say we've had a really successful real estate deal. We've closed 20 deals this year. We have increased our property management company, and we're busier than we want to be. Something like that. But the nuts and bolts of that little message is you want people to know that you're buying and selling, buying and holding, whatever your forte is, and that you want them to have that message that if they have a real estate need, they should call you. One of the another thing, you could just email them, or you could send them a postcard. That works really well, especially with family, because there's a lot of private money out there. Don't think there isn't. It's everywhere. Social media is another way to get your message out, to tell everybody your story. Don't be afraid on your Facebook page there to say, I just bought another house, just sold another house. Give a little bit of information about it, because your friends out there that you're associated with on Facebook are watching. I don't know exactly how many friends I have on Facebook, but I know it's more than a couple hundred. And so not that long ago, I posted another deal pending. I got quite a few responses on people acknowledging that I had a a deal pending. So it's still, it's telling my story. What does Donna Britton do? What do I do? I am a real estate investor. You want to make sure they know that you are a real estate investor. You buy, sell, hold, fix, flip, whatever it is, houses. And you're interested in anything they can give you. And your business is helping people get rid of their problem, right? So make sure you pass that on. Here, a while back, there was some discussion on, I believe it was the IE site, that was about business cards. And somebody had made the comment that business cards are a waste of money. They are not a waste of money. A business card is one of the smartest things you can do. It's a small little card that you put anywhere on top of a gas pump if you want. I put them all kinds of weird places. And those people will hang on to them, and they're going to call you later on, and it could be a potential deal. We just had one of those. It was a gentleman who'd had the card for over a year. He said, I wasn't ready to sell then, but I am now. And he called us. It was awesome. We bought the house, and we're holding it as a rental. He's happy he got rid of it because it was just a rental that he was tired of dealing with. He said, I'm almost 80 years old. I'm tired of this. So we bought it and didn't disturb the tenants. It was a good deal. Initially, no money into the house. So what's better than that? We're just going to buy it, hold it, and collect the cash. So use those business cards. What does your business card need to say? Well, your business card can say a lot of different things. Mine says real estate investments on the front. And on the very back, if I have one here, on the very back, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Let's see if you can see this card. I don't know. Can you see it? It says, we buy houses. Anyway, make sure your message is on there. Your message is, we buy houses, any shape, any condition, anywhere. Give me a call and your number. Same thing with any bandit signs or anything else. This one right here has my name on the other side, so they know it's me. Dan's is very similar, and so when they put this in their pocket and they keep it for a while, they know they're going to call me. And then of course, you have to network with others. Any type of RIA group you can get to it. Any type of local, even like a city hall meeting. A lot of times they deal with tenant issues. And that's going to get your message out. One of the other things that we do with our rentals is if any of our tenants have the police come to their house for whatever reason, the local police send us a report. So they send us a report. I respond back, hey, I'm a real estate investor. And if you find anybody that's really wanting to sell their house, if it's in crappy condition, that's what I like to buy. I've gotten 2 leads off of that. I haven't closed a deal off of that yet, but I have gotten 2 leads. And that's just in the last 6 months here. So again, you got to tell your story. You have to tell everybody what you're doing. Code enforcement knows what I'm doing. Sometimes they don't like me and sometimes they do. But they still know my story, which is kind of funny. So who else should be on your power team? Title company, bankers, utility people, firemen, policemen, any of those people. One of the most important things you must have is a good realtor. Okay, you all know that I'm a realtor, right? And so I can make my own offers and all that, but I don't encourage everybody to do that. I encourage you to have a good realtor. And for me, and where I'm at now, the realtors call me when they have a deal that nobody else will buy. They call me and say, hey, you want this one? You better keep an eye on this one because this is going to be a good deal. And so I find out about them before everybody else does, and they'll tell me what's wrong with them, what's wrong with the properties. So I have a heads up, because usually I buy bank owned and they already kind of know that if there's plumbing problem, electric problem, or whatever it is. So you have to have a good realtor and keep trying them until you find a good one. But you got to have one on your team. They know what you want. They have heard your story. And so they are going to send things that you want your way. So uglier the better, send it to me. That's what they need to know. And they're going to call you. I know it seems amazing, but that's how everybody gets to going really big, is you told your story. People know what you're doing. And so they know that all I got to do is call you. Let's see. Excuse me. So again, everybody, you have to make sure that you can tell your story to everybody. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. We're good people making good things happen for a lot of people. We've found a little niche here recently that we're working with people that have estates. It's usually their parents. There's 7 siblings and nobody can agree on what they want to do. And so the executive of the estate usually contacts us and says, hey, okay, we want out. Tell me, what can you do for me? And so, excuse me, they just know, and they're going to tell somebody else, and they're going to tell somebody else, and they're going to tell somebody else. It's kind of like a cold, I guess. Anyway, tell your story to everybody you know. It's definitely worth it. It finds you anything from properties to private money to people on your power team. You have to do it to grow your business. Remember, you're 100% responsible for your business, and you need to make it grow. So if anybody has questions, I'd love to answer them. Just remember, it's really important. Postal carriers, they see abandoned properties and probably before most people. Yeah, they do. And I have them, not all of them, of course, but a couple of them that I work with, or I know fairly well, do tell me what's going on, and they'll give me an address or shoot me an address. Our maintenance people, they shoot me pictures of houses with the address in the background so that we can follow up on that and hopefully get a deal that way. Debbie M says, an idea for all of you is last year a neighbor put her business card in all the bags of the kids when they handed out the Halloween goodies. Got me thinking, if that's a very good idea. I was thinking the exact same thing. I'll be going around with my grandkids, and I thought instead of putting it in the kids' bag, I would put it in their candy dish. So I'll just toss a business card in their candy dish, and we'll see what happens there. Let's see. But that's a really good idea, Debbie. I'm in the wrong one here. Let's see. So any of you guys have questions for me right now? You can ask me things about other besides your story. You can ask me things about other deals if you want to. Debbie also says a few weeks ago she got a call from an attorney that was dealing with a property that was in a trust. He said someone had told him I buy houses. Exactly. That's exactly it, Debbie. That's exactly what you have to do. We do the exact same thing. I get people calling all the time wanting to know if we're gonna, if we would buy their property or what we'd make an offer on it. What's the offer gonna be? Sometimes they don't like my answer, but that's okay. It's not bad. The last time I was on, I couldn't broadcast, and now I know why, because my Google Chrome was not working. Okay, Paul says, can you share how you are getting into your new niche with the estates? Well, we've kind of wondered about that, but we postcard areas, and especially houses that are abandoned, or if they look like they're vacant, we postcard them. That has Dan's name on it. Just says let's see, not that one. It says that we're local real estate investors Yeah, they're in one of these drawers here. We're in my office today. Oh, well. It says that we're local real estate investors in the area. We saw your house and we'd be interested in buying it. And that's usually how we get those leads. One of the estates that we just bought was off of a bus ad. And that was a pretty good deal too. But it seems to me what they're really hitting on is somebody gave me this postcard that you buy houses. And so I think that's what's really going on, because they know that they don't have to have realtor fees, which if you think about the realtor fees, that's really expensive. You get a minimum of 9% that they're going to have to pay if there's realtors involved. 3 for their agent, 3 for the buying agent, and then 3% closing costs. Then if they have to pay for the closing costs of the buyer, that's another 3%, 3 to 5%. So it can be quite expensive. But again, Paul, I think the reason why we're getting those is due to our postcards. Because we send out 100 a week, and we have been doing that for 4 years. So we have pretty much the same area. Our area isn't really big. So they've seen them a number of times, and people keep them and call us later. These are little I buy houses signs that we put. There you go. It's backwards. These are little signs we put on windshields. There we go. Here's another one that somebody else wanted to know the verbiage on. This is one to look for a professional that maybe has cash on hand and doesn't know what to do with it. So here's this one here. Yeah, you can see it. So then, of course, we have just regular flyers that we use. Now, not all of these do have our information on them, but the majority of people around here know they're ours. And see, this has got little tear-offs on it. I had one of our investors that we deal with. I find him houses. Then we put them in our property management company and manage them. He says, I saw that bus ad the other day. Is that yours? I said, absolutely, that's mine. Who else would do that around here? There's nobody there's no other investor, knock on wood, there's no other investor in our area like us, which I like that. Okay, Andy wants to know, or Andy says, there is no doubt that the relationships you make here on IE and DG are important. Many deals can and do come from them. It shows how important the relationship made in an outside group can be as well. Absolutely, Andy. Dan and I are currently doing deals with people on the IE site, and I'm very thankful for that, and it allows both sides to have a win-win. So you need a network here. Network. There's no reason why you can't do deals with anybody on IE. And you should be doing some deals, or at least talking about those deals on IE. There's a number of people that are doing deals together. And that's a good thing, because it's like-minded people. So everybody knows, it's all open. You don't have to worry about somebody on the other end not knowing as much as you do, because pretty much here, everybody, we all have the same mindset. And so it's more of a, there's just not that question. And, I think, because I'm fairly trusting, that people here are not going to try to do bad things anyway. Debbie wants to know, do I have a template for the paper with the tear-offs? Yes, I do. Perhaps Andrea can tell me how we can put this on the IE site so people can print it off. or maybe in a Word doc, or maybe we can add it in a Word doc, because you just put in your own information. I do have a few others, but it doesn't really matter what it is. The bandit signs for us that work the best are the ones that are the awfulest. I mean, the ones that it's off center and the 3s are bigger than the 2s. Those are the ones we get calls on more than the ones that are nice and neat. And it's already a proven fact that when you're doing postcards, the handwritten do better than the typed ones. But yes, Debbie, somebody could probably help me to do this on the IE site, or if you like, you can email me here and I will get it to you. Any more questions? I'm so glad you guys can see me today. The last time we had it was just a bomb. But now I know I need to be in Firefox instead of the Google Chrome. Plus it's a different computer, so maybe that's the whole deal too. But it's been a good time. And for me, I knew a lot of people liked the typed version of the live cast, but I prefer the talking. I'm just not a very good typist. So everybody go out there and find a deal. And first I'd like to ask, do any of you have a good deal going? If so, tell me about it. Thank you, Sherry. It's nice to see you too. Andy says, Donna, I think you have to do that through Google Docs, which I could. So I have a couple others, so maybe I can upload all of these for people to print out. But they're really easy. This right here, this one right here is just easy as pie. I mean, it's a yellow sheet of paper, cut it in 4s and write on it. And I just did that once and then made copies of it. Anyway, remember the point today is to tell everyone your story so they know what you're doing. So when they have a need, a real estate need, they're going to contact you instead of somebody else. Because that's what we're here for. We're here to make a win-win-win situation. So all of you, oops, got another question. What's the cheapest way to send postcards to the buyers? Well, sending a postcard is less than sending a letter. You buy postcard stamps. It is still a little on the expensive side, but not too bad. But we get so many deals from it, I wouldn't let it go. And I can definitely tell when we're not marketing, if we're not sending them out. So most people don't like to write postcards because of kind of a boring job. So we go through people. And so usually if we're in between people, there's less going out, and I can tell because phone calls stop. So right now we've got a good gal going, and I'm getting probably 4 phone calls back a week. I don't know what that average is. I'd have to figure it out, but it's not too bad, really. Okay, so everybody remember your #1 job. Go out there and market yourself. Tell everybody what you're doing and get those deals coming in. I want to thank you all. Have a great week, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye now.